Hey everybody, this is Mark. Welcome to the Medicare Lounge podcast. Today's topic is all about getting scammed. I'm a little embarrassed to bring this topic up just because I've been scammed twice in my life. Once, a few years ago, I thought I was buying a puppy online and I sent some money. Turns out there were no puppies and I lost $1,000. So that was kind of embarrassing. Second time that I've been scammed is actually just recently. My tax professional tried to submit or file our tax return and found out that somebody else had filed my tax return. And yeah, so that wasn't me. So I think that's, I don't know, I guess that's identity fraud. They stole my identity and filed my taxes. Um, so yeah, I guess that is kind of a scam, right? Or fraud, whatever. It was somebody. Is that scam or fraud? What is that? Whatever. It's not a good feeling, right? Um, and because this is sort of such a big topic, I actually wanted to invite somebody who's had some personal experience and has done research about scams and probably fraud too, as well, right? No, mostly scams. Okay. And let me see here. Actually, before we bring her out, let me just mention that um, Medicare is very aware of retirees and seniors being valuable targets for scam artists. As a Medicare advisor, I actually have to take my clients through additional compliance steps that normal insurance agents don't have to do when they're selling life insurance and auto and home insurance. So Medicare actually requires me to make sure that I record and I comply with the rules and I show that I'm really doing what's right for my clients, whatever it is that I'm recommending. So that's one thing that I wanted to note. But yeah, I want to introduce my guest today. Um, she is a local 58-year-old, proud 58-year-old Las Vegas resident, and she's here to talk to us about her own experience personally and also with her parents about getting scammed or almost getting scammed. Her name is Corin Ramos, and so let me bring her out here. All right, hey Corin, how's it
Hi,
going?
Mark.
Now here's the thing: if she looks familiar to you, does she look familiar to you? I'm sure she does, right? The reason is because
Seen it in Sin City podcast.
she's one of our co-hosts for the Seen It in Sin City podcast. So very cool to have you on here.
Thanks. Thanks for having me.
I do want to mention a couple other things
For
about
sure.
you. Is that okay?
Okay. Uh oh.
So she is also the host of her own YouTube channel. It's called Filipina Unfiltered.
Yeah.
She started it back in August
Yes.
2023. Actually, not too long ago.
Not too long ago. Yeah.
You've done over 200
Oh
videos.
my gosh. That many?
Yeah, you have over 3,600 followers, and that's pretty good, right? Within such a short period of time.
I was actually surprised that more than my family members subscribe. So yes, yes, I'm very excited about it because it's kind of unusual, Filipino American over the hill. I'm an over the hill traditional Filipina with Western tendencies. Not a really a popular kind of topic on YouTube, but here I am.
Oh, okay. Well, it's very entertaining, so definitely
Thank you,
check it out, and we'll put some links to the
thank you.
to your YouTube channel. You're also a realtor here with Keller Williams Realty Las Vegas.
Yes.
You grew up in Fremont, California, graduated from UC Berkeley. You're a mom of twins.
Mom of twins and a Lola of a. He's gonna be 1 year old
Oh
this
my
month.
gosh, 1 year.
I know it went fast.
Oh,
Well, for me it did. For
oh,
for his mama, I'm not so sure.
oh.
Sleepless nights, but yeah, they're great.
Does it keep you young to have a 1 year old grandson?
Oh
Is he very
yes,
energetic? Is he?
he's very energetic. Well, they live in Colorado,
Oh,
so
okay,
yeah,
okay,
yeah, they live in Colorado. But yes,
okay.
yes.
Maybe they were local. And then when you're not doing real estate and also shooting videos for your channel, you love doing cooking, Pilates, and yoga, right?
You read my bio. Yes, I love all
Yeah,
of that. Yes.
yeah,
Yeah, that stuff keeps you young and you have to keep healthy, right? With
yeah,
all of this Medicare and health stuff that you talk about. So yes, we Americans are living longer
yeah,
and healthier. We can because we have a lot more options for our health.
yeah. And I think I have a feeling that she's also got this secret juice drink over here that may also help with your
Tea, tea.
with longevity,
Hmm.
possibly, right? Whatever that is.
Keeps
Yeah.
everybody around me
Not
happy.
not a sponsor yet, so we're not going to mention them, okay? Um, I know we're here to talk about your experience and your parents' experience and stuff. But I did have one quick question about real estate, if that's okay.
Absolutely, yes. I love it.
Okay. So I know that that in 2021 you earned a certificate or designation. It's called the Real Estate Specialist Divorce Designation for
Yes,
realtors. And I
yes.
know you've taken other certifications as well, but can you kind of describe like what that's all about? That's really
Yes,
interesting.
I
Yeah.
I I love that. I love that. So I wanted to specialize in that because I learned a lot, made a lot of mistakes myself
Mm,
as when I going through my divorce in 2005 in terms of real estate, and I wanted to pass along those lessons to single homeowners,
mm,
divorced homeowners, about to be divorced or uncoupling homeowners, because it is a specialty that takes a lot of special skills.
mm.
I like to think, and
Okay.
it's very rewarding for me. It's very rewarding to help somebody who was in a certain situation and then completely thrown into this unknown. And I wish I had some guidance myself when
Yeah.
I was going through the process. So that's why I feel very it's very satisfying for me to work in that space, in that area.
Especially because 50%, right, like they say, right? Half of all
Yeah.
marriages they end in divorce,
Yeah.
and a lot of couples probably buy property, and they
Yes.
need somebody with a specialty, with the knowledge, right? The skills.
Yes, and the marital home is probably one of the biggest, if not the biggest investment that a couple makes.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Any quick tip on that, by the way? Like, just obviously, if anybody has questions about that, to reach out to you. But
Well, I think the main thing is, I mean, like, even if you're happily married, very happily married, it's always good to do kind of a check, like a checklist. I have a homeowner's checklist of things like look up your deed, the title of your home. Are you both on the deed?
mm-hmm.
Some spouses, they come to me, they're very surprised. Grant, I'm not on the deed. I'm not on title of the home. I thought I was, but I wasn't. So check that. Um, if you have a prenuptial agreement, how are assets going to be divided? So basically, it is have you have an entrance strategy
Mm,
to the relationship, courting, the wedding, all of that, how many children you're going to have, where you want to live, but also kind of have an exit strategy. I know nobody likes to think about that. You don't want to be planning the wedding and then getting a prenuptial agreement signed at the same time,
yeah.
right? But
Awkward. It's a little awkward.
it's very awkward, but
Yeah.
it's actually really good to have those conversations before major decisions. You're going to talk about, like, well, do you want kids? How many kids? I want three. Oh, I want one. Oh, I want none. Those are, you're going to have those kinds of conversations before you get married, right?
I don't remember, but you would think, right?
You would think. So,
Yeah.
just see if you are on the same kind of life plan. That's all, life page. And even if you don't have a prenuptial agreement, maybe just write some things down. These are good things to talk about.
You were also taking some certification classes for something.
Well, yes. So, in line with your topic today, Mark, real estate agents, we have to be we have to take continuing education every 2 years, 36 hours of continuing education classes every 2 years. And one of my favorite topics of those classes is fraud,
Mm,
actually, and how to spot them, how to avoid them, how to explain it to your clients, because it's just getting worse. I mean, so
yeah.
this is a great topic that you could talk about like all day long, every day. Seriously.
Yeah. And when I first introduced the podcast, I mentioned that this is all about scams, right? But you just mentioned fraud.
Fraud.
So how do you kind of, are those two different things, you think, or are they sort of the same thing? How do you kind
Well,
of see those as, like, the
okay.
difference, or?
So You know, I they're probably about the same thing. But so when for real estate fraud,
Yeah.
right? A lot of it, the big thing about it is like you said, identity theft. But
Hmm.
in real estate, uh they make assigned disclosures about wire fraud.
Mm,
It's wire fraud. When you're a buyer and you are finally, you went through the whole process and you're going to be wiring your down payment or the full plan, all the monies to the title company, to the escrow company, to here you go, you're going to about to buy the house, close on this house. So there's a lot of fraud involved where those fraudsters are going to be intercepting that email,
mm,
okay, create phony fraud emails and stuff, and then they will change the account numbers. Those account numbers are going to go into their bank account, not the escrow companies. Millions, millions, and millions of dollars have been lost to that, and it's nothing to be embarrassed. It's awful, awful thing, but
yeah.
it's nothing to be embarrassed about because it happens to everybody, and they're very, very sophisticated of how they do these things. How these fraudsters do this. Scam, fraudster, fraud, criminal activity. It's basically criminal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so scammer is kind of like a nice way of putting it. Think of it in your head. They're criminals.
Hmm.
They are
Yeah.
taking money, your time, with romance scams. We're going to get to that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So nothing funny. Why did I laugh? Oh my God.
I don't know. I don't know, but
It's the tea.
it's a so okay, and you're kind of alluding to it that as technology improves with like
Mm.
AI and stuff, and we'll touch on this towards the end, that it is getting really scary, sophisticated,
Yes.
very difficult to tell what's truth, or what's a scam, or what's fraud. So
Yeah.
I do want to kind of shift towards kind of the main reason why we're having you here. You had some experiences with your parents
Yes.
and also with yourself.
Yes.
Um, would you like to share first about your parents? How what happened there, or
Yes.
almost happened there, right?
Almost happened there. So about 5 years ago, few years, about 5 years ago, uh, see, my dad and my ex-father-in-law at the time, they exchanged it. They get along very good. They were great friends.
Mm,
And my ex-father-in-law would always be emailing my father, my dad,
mm,
these emails. He forwarded, news articles and with links of stories.
mm,
And my dad thinks, of course, it's coming from a trusted person
mhm.
like my father-in-law, my ex-father-in-law. So he would click it, not really knowing where that link is leading to. And it's no longer, it looks like a news site, news article, but it's not. So what we call phishing, right?
Mm,
They're phishing websites. So they're basically just gathering your information.
mm,
So, my dad would download a virus. I took his computer to Best Buy like 3 times to get it wiped and stuff like that. So at one point, these fraudsters, these links, what they do is you click on it and you download not just a virus, but a virus is like a keyboard stroke.
mm.
They can trace your keyboard stroke, so they can, when you log into your bank accounts or your financial accounts, they can log your passwords, your usernames, things like that.
So what you're saying is like, somebody that
Hmm.
can send you an email, with a link to a website.
Mm-hmm.
The website itself is not, it's not a safe website.
It's not a safe website. Yeah.
They click the link, and what happens is something is downloaded into their computer.
Right.
So the person that clicks it, the recipient, doesn't even realize that something insidious just like was downloaded into the computer.
Right.
So then now, okay, so takes them to that website, whatever they do at that website, that's not the point. The point is they click that link,
Mm-hmm.
downloaded something that's going to start phishing, right?
Right.
Into their laptop. And now when that recipient goes to their bank online, they're going to have to type in their username, their
Mm-hmm.
password. They go to their credit card online, they're doing the same thing, username, password. And that thing that was downloaded starts to gather that information.
Yes, yes. And just because, and the person who sent it to you, like my father-in-law who sent it to
Yeah.
my dad,
Yeah.
he didn't know, he wasn't doing it maliciously or either.
Right.
He might have gotten it as well. And at first, so with my dad, it started out even like he even got, it's called ransomware, right?
Oh,
He clicked on something, he downloaded something, and it locked his
yeah.
his
Oh my
computer.
gosh.
Like it was completely frozen.
Wow.
Then they contact him, goes, if you want to unlock your computer and all your information, then you just pay us. I think he paid like $500.
Wow.
Okay, things like that.
Wow.
So it was progressively getting worse. And if he had Yahoo at the time, all these blinking things, and it affects our seniors most of high proportionate because they're not as tech savvy as we are, you and I are, younger my kids, like they are so good on the computers and all the apps and stuff like that. But imagine our parents, this is still all fairly new to them, and they're not thinking I'm going to get scammed on computer or an email or this link, click here, looks so friendly, and they purposely do that. They click on something and it completely freezes all their information.
Yeah. I mean, all
Their
of us, right?
computer.
Doesn't matter what age,
Yeah.
what age group. We're not like going online thinking, "Ooh, let me get
Yeah.
scammed today,"
Right.
right? And this kind of goes back to that, scammers getting even more sophisticated, where it totally looks like legitimate.
It does.
It totally looks like, yeah. I mean, and we'll get into it in a few, in a couple of minutes here, but it's crazy scary, like
It is.
how sophisticated.
Well, the FBI just, and this is really an eye opener. The FBI just came out with a report a few weeks ago. So, romance scams, Americans, okay, this is just Americans, lost over $1 billion to
1 billion.
romance scammers. $1 billion.
Wow.
Elderly fraud, seniors and older American frauds, they lost over $3 billion to
3
these
billion.
fraudsters.
Wow.
It's heartbreaking. They'll lose their life savings, they'll go into debt. It's just horrible, and we just need to keep doing things like you're doing and talking about it. And what I suggest also is, and this is how I found out with my parents, and then, have a talk with your parents. They might not be telling you something because they might not think it's something bad is happening,
Right.
but they might think, so is anybody making you feel uncomfortable online, mom, dad? Are they? My parents were getting harassing phone calls, okay, on their landline. And is anybody making call? Are you getting any phone calls from people you don't know asking for money or things like that?
Yeah.
Said, I'm not mad at you. I just want to be aware of these things.
Sure.
And it is the $1 billion and the $3 billion that were lost. The FBI is saying that could be a huge undercount because of a huge underreporting, because it is embarrassing.
Yeah.
We're embarrassed that oh gosh, I'm so stupid. How could I have done that? But and then of course when they get judged by family, friends, or online, it's like, how could you have done that? I would never do that. Well, it happens.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, everyone you know, there's somebody that this has happened to.
Yeah. And I do know some people.
Right?
You had mentioned about romance scams.
Hmm.
Um, you had a personal experience with a romance scam. Do you
I
mind?
did. I
Yeah.
did. So yes, I have been the target of romance scams. So, this really surged, the increase during the pandemic, right? We're all at home, we're lonely, we're all on a computer 24/7,
Mm.
so they just came out in droves. So, um, uh, I had no idea. A lot of us, we don't know. It's like, oh, they seem friendly and stuff like that. So it got to the point where it's like, and they don't, and they say now we're starting to know the minute they ask for money, cut them off,
Mm.
right? But sometimes when you're into it, they've been talking to you for a few weeks, a few months, and you're getting to know them, and then you're getting emotionally involved,
Yeah.
right? Oh, it's just $50 for here and there. Oh, then it's $100 here and there. So um, all of a sudden it's a couple thousand or whatever. Like
Mm.
all of a sudden it's over $1 billion.
Right.
So I started to really study this, to watch so much video, read so much articles, and like I said, I've had a few girlfriends of mine. It doesn't happen to just women; it happens to men too, but a majority of it is
Mm.
happened to women,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I've had it happen to some women friends. They've had it happen to their mothers-in-law, you know.
Yeah.
So I think the rule of thumb is, again, if they ask you for money, even just a little bit, because they're testing you, right? They're
Mm.
testing. Like, is she going to send me money? And then a little bit, little bit, little bit. Um, uh, so that's the first red flag. So many red
Yeah.
flags, right? But that's the major red flag. My also is too is like, this might not be a popular. It's
Yeah.
like, honestly, they use very beautiful, very attractive fake profiles, right?
Mm.
Photos of they may be real people actually, but they don't know that they're being used for these fake
Right,
profiles.
because anybody can steal a picture.
Anybody can steal a picture. It's called
Yeah.
catfishing. Look that up if you have to. So
Yeah.
um, you know, uh, so we fall for that.
Yeah.
This nice looking blah blah blah. My rule of thumb now is like, I know I'm cute. I'm cute, but I'm not that cute. So
Mm.
you can this
Yeah.
this Fabio 30, 40 something year old, oh, I'm here in Dubai vacationing on my yacht. Come on. Then why do you need $50 to buy groceries from me, right?
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
I know, but I know. So, but it's that common sense kind of goes out the window when they start. You have to tell yourselves, and you have to know these are professionals. They are very good at manipulation. They wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't working. And
Yeah.
they really do a number on people. So you can go on my face. I can go on my Facebook friend request now. I have a few hundred or whatever. I just keep it there. That's like, oh, this is amusing for study, again, for study. And I don't accept these friend requests anymore. And you can look at them because, like, I can spot them now, fake, 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 fake,
Mm.
right? And
Mm.
so uh but if, again, it's here in America, especially our seniors, we're very it's we have an epidemic of loneliness,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So somebody pops up on our screen, they want to talk to us. Good morning, hello, beautiful, hello, handsome. It's we can fall for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We actually, so I actually have a friend from church. She used to work for a major health insurance carrier. And she worked, I believe, in the member services department. And she's not working there anymore, but she actually told us that she was surprised to find out that the majority of her calls were about people on Medicare asking to connect with like a mental health counselor,
Mm-hmm.
psychologist, psychiatrist, if their provider was in network or if they can help them find a provider that accepted the plan. So I thought that was really interesting because, it really
Yeah.
supports what you're saying about the bottom line at the very core of all this like fraud and scams that are happening to everybody is that maybe it's just we're all just kind of lonely, you
Yeah,
know?
it really is. It really
Yeah.
is. So again, like if you have somebody texting you all day and asking how you're checking in with you, time and time again, the victims who talk about it, it's like I've never had anybody care like that. For talk to me that way, be this concerned. Did you eat today? Have you
Yeah.
eaten? Things like they ask us that in the Philippines all the time. That's
Yeah.
normal for us, but in American culture, mostly it's not, which is
Yeah.
sad. We don't check in on each other enough. We don't ask how are you doing and stuff.
Yeah.
So
That's really interesting. I do want to ask you about something because I know you mentioned about one of the signs, one of the clues to look out for is when this person that you've connected with online at some website, dating website or something, when they start to ask for money,
hmm
right? Now, I'm from the Philippines.
me too.
You're from the Philippines as well, and you know, when somebody from like let's say here, right, connects with somebody from the Philippines,
Mhm.
oftentimes at some point they're going to ask for money.
That's very common. Yes.
And I have friends and family here in Vegas, all across the U.S. and Chicago, who are from the Philippines, and they've connected with Americans. And these Americans that have connected and it's typically Filipinas, right? So
hmm
women from the Philippines. Um, Many times they actually go to the Philippines to meet these beautiful women. I mean,
Yes.
Filipinas are very beautiful women.
Yes.
Um,
I've seen your
and
wife. Yes, absolutely, she is.
yeah, she is. Um, so I guess what I'm trying to say is, um, well, actually, here's what I'm trying to say. They ask for money
hmm
many times from the Philippines, but then actually they end up getting married,
Yeah, it's
and they do come here, and
right.
everything like works out.
Yes.
So like, how can somebody tell? And it could be somebody from the Philippines, it could be somebody from wherever,
Yes.
South Africa, it could be from England, it could be from South America. Like, at what point? Because they have the gentlemen have told me that they have sent money
hmm
when their current wives from the Philippines, when they first started dating, and they're not meeting in person. So when they ask for money, they do send money here and there. But they're married. They're legitimately married.
hmm
They're in love. They've got kids and all that stuff. So like, is there maybe like a secondary clue, or is there a way to maybe test things out? Like, it's okay to send the money, but hey, maybe I can do something else to kind of because like you said, we're all kind of lonely, looking
Yeah.
for happiness, and you don't want to feel like you're missing out on somebody special just because you know
hmm
they asked for $10 or
Right.
something.
Right. And yes, and absolutely. Just because somebody asks for money doesn't mean that they're scamming you.
Yeah.
But there are some things that you can check for,
Mm,
right? First of all, there is no excuse now not to video chat. If that
mm,
other person, to,
good
to see
point.
if they're legitimate, if
Yeah.
that's they're the real you,
Yeah.
that they're the real person, right?
For now.
Yes, for
For
now.
now.
For now.
Yeah.
Like, don't give me any excuse that
Yeah.
your phone doesn't work, your video doesn't work. No, no. I've been to the Philippines several times now, but everybody there is on their phone.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
so everybody's phone works.
Yeah.
Um, so at least get that video chat. It's
Yeah.
funny because on my channel I actually interviewed a private detective as well. So she was giving these kinds of things, and she
Oh, awesome.
she has been hired a lot by Americans to trust, but she verifies.
Yeah.
whether they're who they say they are, whether they're not married
Mm.
or with a boyfriend, things like that. And that's hard to verify. It's just you and the camera like this. Somebody could be in the other room. You never
Sure,
know.
sure.
You never know. So I think take your time is
Yeah.
also a good thing. If they start asking you right off the bat, after a few weeks, after even a month or a few months, that might be something to think about and consider. So take your time with them, and certainly highly recommend, go over there for a visit and
Yeah.
visit them.
Yeah.
You know.
Actually, I think it's going to be important to actually have a link to that particular video
Oh, with
with
that.
the investigator,
Yeah, she was
right?
great. She was great. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I think people would probably be interested in
Yeah.
connecting with her, or
Okay.
at least watch the video
Absolutely.
to see
Yeah.
how that all worked out.
Mhm.
Okay, so here's the thing. So there's the event, right, where somebody gets scammed,
Yes.
right? What are some things in your mind that folks can do before they potentially can get scammed? And then also, if they do get scammed, what are some things that they can do after they realize that, hey, I just got scammed?
Okay.
Yeah, kind of a two-part thing.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So, um, no, none of us, like you said, wakes up and go, I think I might get scammed today. I'm going to log on and see if I'm going to get scammed. We don't think about that. But be, I even go dial way, way back and kind of go back a little bit even more. Whether you are, whether it's about romance scamming or just even about your profile online, don't give away too much of your profile, even if you're happily married or whatever. Don't give away too much on your profile. Don't be posting too many vacations on a yacht or something. Oh, this person is wealthy, right?
I know somebody that really wants everybody to know that they're a medical doctor. We're like, make sure everybody knows that, yeah, I'm a retired doctor. Like, yeah, you really want everybody to know that, you know.
Yeah, some things we don't have to post
I mean, you're
everything.
just like putting a huge target on your
You
back.
really
Yeah.
are. You really
Yeah.
are. And if you are, like I do workshops and I help people like create a dating profile
Mm.
or even just kind of like do a kind of a audit of their dating profile, right?
Mm.
You're gonna say you're widowed or divorced or whatever. It's like, ooh, she's a widow. Ooh, lonely person or widower. Ooh, that kind of thing. And again, posting too much about your means,
Mm.
your financial
Resources.
resources. Keep that
Yeah.
stuff low key, keep that stuff low
Some
key.
people
Some people can't.
they just gotta let everybody know.
Yep, yep. Oh, look at the Louis Vuitton bag I just bought this week
Oops,
again,
was this oh yeah, I got 1,000 here. I didn't know I had $1,000. Right. They want
Look
people
how
to
much
know.
I won at the casino. Oh my gosh. Do not post stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So there are things you can do. Look at your social media profiles right now, like how and the friend requests you're getting. Why am I getting these kinds of things? What am I putting out there? And we have to
Yeah.
take some accountability for ourselves. It's
Exactly.
not our
Yeah.
fault. It is not our fault if we are the victims of scammers and fraudsters. But take some accountability too of what we are putting out there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And then if somebody does or is in the middle of, they just figured out, holy cow, like,
Tell somebody.
right.
Yes, that's another thing because these guys, they thrive on secrecy. They will
Mm,
isolate you.
right.
It's like, oh, you don't have to tell your children this about us. Let's keep it between us. Let's have it a surprise when I get there, when I get to the States, and then we can all have one big happy family reunion. So, that's just like don't tell anybody. That's another red flag. So tell somebody like, oh, you're my boyfriend now? You're my girlfriend now? Let's post about it. Let's post on social media. Oh, no, I'm not ready for that kind of thing. So why not?
Yeah.
That's a thing. And then tell somebody, tell people,
Tell your
sound it
kids.
out. Sometimes you need to
Yeah.
sound it out. And when you start telling a story and when you hear it coming from your mouth,
Yeah.
oh, that does sound bad. And you're making all these excuses for them. oh well, his car broke down, oh well, his mom got sick, his grandma got sick. It's gonna start to hear like, gosh, this person has a lot of issues.
Wow. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, and then, what's really good is that this is such coming now to the forefront because of, you know, talking about it, people coming forward with their stories, even though they are just, it's a big sacrifice for them to come forward with their stories. There's an FBI hotline now, or
Hmm.
website for it. You can make file a police report
Hmm.
with
Yep.
their cybersecurity or cyber crimes units now
Yep.
that wasn't there before years ago. So
Yeah. I know you mentioned that you do workshops
mhm.
for to help folks.
Free workshops.
Free workshop. Is that like in person or is that online
Yeah,
or?
I do both in person. I like to be in person. Especially I think older active adults, older senior Americans,
Yeah.
we like to. Here we are talking about cyber crimes and stuff
Yeah.
like that. It's like, oh, she's online, so I don't mind. I like to meet with them face to face. We can do that as well.
And then this is, I assume you're doing this because you want to be part of the solution.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. It happened to my parents. It's happened to people I know and love. So it's just heartbreaking, especially when it happens to our seniors because they're so trusting.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
parents were so trusting. And when I saw how it affected them, I got so mad. I
Mhm.
was furious.
Yeah.
But I want to avoid that.
Right. Get the
As
word out.
yeah,
Yeah.
especially when to seniors who feel like, well, my family doesn't understand,
Yeah.
or my children, they don't want to talk to me anymore because I've spent all this money,
Mm.
and it's just heartbreaking. It really
Yeah.
is.
So well, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna post the link to that specific
Yeah.
YouTube video about the private investigator in the Philippines. I assume that's gonna be a direct link to your YouTube channel, right?
It is, and I can also on that video I
Yeah.
posted her direct contact information, her WhatsApp number, and her email.
And then if people want to reach out to you because they have questions for you about real estate or about your experiences with like scams and stuff like that, and also even connect with you to um, be a part of the workshop, right, or attend a
Yeah,
workshop. How
yeah.
do they connect with you? Like,
You can all my contact information. I'll let you have. They
okay,
can reach me either way. Go on my YouTube channel. I've talked about what happened to my parents as
yeah,
well. Yeah, and I'm happy to even get on a call or a Zoom or meet with you and say, this is my Facebook profile. What is it? What is it? How is it? Is it okay?
mm,
And or if you go, this man or this woman sent me a friend request. Do you think he's real? And there's just so much to it, and I can to look through that person's profile. The number one clue again is um, age gap. Basically,
yeah,
the men tell me this too. My male friends, my male clients will, and I hear it from other uh, uh, male Americans as well, and Filipinos. Um, they're older. Again, like I said, I'm 58, and I get a friend request from a 20, 30, even a 40 something um,
yeah,
person. Just gonna go, no, I don't think so.
yeah.
So uh, not that it doesn't have, not that you can't be also have a fake profile of a man who's age appropriate, let's say,
Right,
right?
right,
That happens a lot too.
yeah.
Retired doctors, they're a favorite fake profile
Oh,
out there,
that's interesting.
and they're older, right? They're older, so
I know I always get requests from people, attractive women, and I don't know. They all seem to come from
a
what is that
certain
called?
country in Asia,
No, no,
not the
they always they
Philippines.
always have in their profile that they do forex trading
Mm-hmm.
and what's that? Bitcoin.
Crypto.
Yeah.
They don't always
So
have to do that. Okay, here's another thing. Ask yourself, such a physically attractive, globe-trotting, vacationing in Paris kind of thing. Why would this person be sending me a friend request?
mm, yeah,
Wouldn't they be just swamped with a million gazillion friend requests. Why are they sending me a friend request? And
but it feels so good.
It does feel so
Somebody
good.
wants to connect with me.
It does, exactly, absolutely.
It does feel good.
Yeah, they're telling you, oh, you're so beautiful, you're so handsome, and blah blah blah. They, like I said, don't feel bad because they are professional manipulators at this game. So they do it 24/7.
So the bottom line is live your life.
Live your life.
But be careful. Start using the post office again.
I know. I was thinking about
and
that.
start meeting people at the grocery store and
There
at
you
church,
go.
right?
Yes,
At church or
yes.
synagogue or the temple. I'm just kidding. I mean, you just got to be careful.
You do.
Yeah.
There's meetups.
Meetups,
Meetups are great.
Yeah.
Reach out to your friends. Go out with them. You'll meet people organically.
Yeah.
It's just it's getting worse. I'm sad to say. It's getting worse. Whether it's dating apps or financial scams or things like that.
Yeah.
I watched a video of a woman who got scammed just playing friends with words with friends.
Wordle? Was that Wordle?
Something like that.
Yeah.
It's just a game. She's just innocently playing it, and other people are online playing with you and stuff, and she gets scammed from that.
Oh my gosh.
Wow,
Yeah.
So
scary stuff.
It is scary stuff.
So here's the thing. We're gonna, like I said, we're gonna provide those links to Corin if you want to connect with her or to check out her video with a private investigator, and also to connect with her for real estate or her workshops with helping set up social media profiles. As a bonus, I do want to mention that the government does have some solutions for you as well, for all of us.
Oh, great.
And I'm going to give you, and I'm going to put this in the notes as well. But the government agency to really contact prior to being scammed and also after being scammed is the Federal Trade Commission, the FTC, and they've got some great information on there about what to do before getting scammed or after you've been scammed, how to report it to the government. So I'm going to provide that links also in the comments and also in the show notes, right? I should be saying show notes. And then also another website that I'm going to provide in the links as well is the medicare.gov website. They've actually got a page that's dedicated to reporting Medicare fraud and abuse. And also if your medical identity has been stolen. So I'll put that as well in the show notes. And I want to thank Miss Corin Ramos.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you so much for coming to this podcast.
I love this topic that the more information that we can get out there, the more we can help people and potentially stop it.
All right, folks.
All right.
Thank you for your time. I hope you guys learned some valuable lessons today, and we'll catch you in the next podcast. See you.
Bye.